This week, as the United Nations General Assembly holds in New York, President Muhammadu Buhari addresses the National Assembly to address awareness of the situation in the Lake Chad Basin. This is a volatile area for all the countries that share the region, where many have been displaced, about 600,000 of them. But it's also a place where there's an increasing food crisis if nothing is done about it. I'm joined now by the former permanent representative of Nigeria to the United Nations, Ambassador Raphael Horsfall. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10. He's in the Abuja studio. Ambassador Horsfall, President Muhammadu Buhari is at the UN General Assembly, where he's already addressed that summit on migration and movement of people. What is it about the Lake Chad region that makes it so delicate and yet volatile?
Thank you. This is a great opportunity, once again a great opportunity for Mr. President, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, to press home on the demand from members, countries within the Lake Chad Basin for the international community to understand the enormity of the crisis, enormity of the hardship, enormity of the vulnerability, because Lake Chad Basin is very unique because of high intensity, high volatility of the people living around the region. One of the primary objectives that Mr. President is going to sensitize to the people is the need for the world powers to begin to put a solid assistance, not just by talking, but also walking the talk. Lake Chad Basin, which comprises of countries like Nigeria, Niger, Chad, it is quite a very, very important aspect of human relationship that connect these three countries because of the sound and unethical practice of governance that have eluded the people of the area. So it is very important. You talk about the mineral resources, you talk about the human capital development. There are so much to talk about the Lake Chad Basin. It's quite an integral part of the countries that are living within the sub-region: Nigeria, Chad, and Niger.
And for the president to be addressing the UN and bringing this topic up, it means that he wants the UN to do something about it. So what can the UN do to help the Lake Chad Basin, where over 600,000 people are in need of food aid?
Certainly, one of the things that the United Nations and world leaders are going to do, that Mr. President is pressing a high demand, is the area of assistance, the areas of mobility, the areas of infrastructural development. Take, for instance, our country in the Northeast. There are so many people, millions of people that are living in the IDP camps. So many people have been disenfranchised, so many people have lost their homes. So many of them have died because of the effect of Boko Haram, because of the effect of terrorism. So we want the president and the entire people of Nigeria and the entire people of the sub-region want the world leaders, the United Nations, to be involved practically, first fundamentally, in the ensuring that we have a sound political system, a sound democratic system, whereby, because most of the terrorism, most of the things, crises that you have in Africa are brought about because of lack of fundamental democracy, lack of inclusive democracy. If you look at the young men in Africa, so many of them are disenfranchised from participating in a democratic process in their various countries. But the most important thing that the world leaders and United Nations is going to do is to look at how they can implement their programs. They already have a project. They already have programs to be able to ameliorate this situation in Africa. But most of the times, to implement it to the letter becomes a problem. So we need, the president is going to press a high demand on infrastructural development. He's going to press a high demand on food security. He's going to press a high demand on health services. He's going to press a high demand on education.
Ambassador
Education
Hosful
is the key. Mobility is also the key.
Hosful,
acceptability.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Raphael Hosful, for joining us tonight on the News at 10. I appreciate your being here tonight.